All right, folks, this is not the cleanest or most beautiful model I have ever made by any stretch of the imagination, but I did receive a question from a YouTube commenter that I thought would be really interesting to explore. I have a helix here that grows, right? It's on an angle, and as a swept shape goes up the helix, it scales larger. How do we scale things up and down a helix? Well, let's take a look at that now in this video. I'll start a new part. In my new part, I'm going to switch this to the part workbench, and we can get started immediately. I'll grab this icon right here, and we can choose a helix. Now, for the pitch, maybe I'll give that something like 50 millimeters, right? Or height, let's go with 150. Radius, we'll start out at 5 millimeters. Angle, I'm going to give that an angle of 15, so it kind of is conical. Totally optional, of course. And we'll create. Okay, so that is my helix. Now I want to make some sketches. So I'm going to click on my helix, and then if I'm careful with my mouse, I can hold Control and click on that endpoint right there. And then I'll choose my sketch. And you'll notice this says Frenet NB, right? And that makes a sketch that is totally normal to the end of that helix, which is what we want. Now I'm going to be real simple, right? Maybe a hexagon. I haven't done a hexagon yet. Let's be a little bit less simple and make a hexagon shape. So you can make whatever shape you want here and have it scale, or you can have it morph into a completely different shape, like a hexagon going into a circle, right? The sky is the limit here. So we'll have that. I'm going to hit D for dimension and just give this a simple dimension here of 0.25, right? We're going to start really small, and we're fully defined. So we're going to close that. We'll come up here. I'm going to do the same thing, right? Click on the end of my helix, hold Control, click on that little endpoint there, and start a sketch, Frenet NB. I can have this go into a circle, which would be pretty interesting, or maybe another hexagon. I'm going to go with a circle. And again, if we run into problems, all CAD platforms really would prefer to have the same number of sketch elements going to the same number of sketch elements. So we have a hexagon with 6 elements down here. That means we want a circle to be made up of 6 individual arcs of equal size if we run into errors, right? I'm going to go into just a circle, but if we run into errors, we're going to make that a circle with 6 individual arcs. Okay, we're going to close that. And we'll go with a sketch here, and we're going to sweep to the next sketch. And then this is always a little bit perplexing to me, but this is how it works. We click on Sweep Path. I click on the helix in the graphics display, and we say Done. And that applies our sweep path. Now, most sweeps in most platforms like SolidWorks, Onshape, Libre, they will have it so that a sweep is just a fixed shape all the way up. But FreeCAD's a bit different. You can actually sweep to multiple different sketch profiles. Either way, we're going to say OK here. And you can tell that we go from a hexagon into a circle, and we grow as we go. Very interesting thing to do. So you'll notice that we always default to a surface. I'm going to stand on my sweep, and under solid, we're going to change that to true. And then it fills it in as a solid. If you miss that step, you'll feel it later, because solids and surfaces are very different things. But let's say that I want to bring this into a part design workflow, right? I have several videos on that already. I'll put some links in the description. Remind me if I forget. And we'll go to part design here and create a body in part design and a sketch. Now our beginning radius was 5 millimeters, right? So actually I'll make a construction line. We'll make that 5 millimeters. There you go, 5 millimeters. And I want this to go a little bit past my sweep. So we'll go to driving constraints there, just like that. I'm hitting D again for dimension and clicking on that so it turns into an angle. We want that to be 15 degrees. Dang. And then give that, if I say 150, yeah, that falls a bit short, doesn't it? 180. So we'll add a horizontal line there. We'll add in a vertical line, horizontal, and then we can connect this back up. Right, so there is where our line started. So I'm going to choose a parallel constraint and make this line parallel with that one. We'll move this up a little bit. Maybe we'll give this a starting length of 2, something like that. And it looks like we're good. So we'll do a revolve. So we're revolving in part design, and this body was made in part. So there's going to be a bit of a problem here, right? Because I can't select the edge between the two bodies because they're not actually merged. And if I want to merge them together, ordinarily it would be with parts. So this, I can't use my favorite part design workflow. So let's, of course, as we did in the other videos, we'll stand on the sweep that we've done. We'll make sure that our body is bold text right there, right? So we know it's active. And I'm going to click on Shape Binder, and that creates this yellow shape binder or imported geometry into part design. So now this binder is within my part design body, and I can use my nice modern part design workflow to continue designing this part. So I'll use the spacebar to hide my sweep, but you'll see, all right, we need to make it solid. So we'll stand on my binder and we'll click on Boolean, and it should default to fuse, which it does. So I just click OK, and now I can select that edge that is between the cone and my little helical feature. I can add a fillet if I'd like, and that's the beautiful thing, right? We're able to, let's see if that goes. We're able to, yeah, it doesn't like that. Probably because of how small I made this. That goes down to 0.5 millimeter, and there's a bunch of straight faces because it starts out as a hexagon. So no wonder I can't put a fillet there. But it's really a beautiful thing that I can, if conditions allow, make these kinds of fillets, like right there. So this is totally implemented. I can go back and change my sweep, and it updates the shape binder. For example, maybe I want to change my sweep sketch. So edit the sketch, right? This is not in part design or anything. I'm just highlighting each of these. I'm going to right click and toggle construction geometry, and then in this one right click and toggle construction geometry. And now if I close this, I have a completely different sweep, and I go to rebuild everything and my fillet breaks. But if I get rid of my broken fillet, we can see that now we are a circle. So our Boolean right here was updated because our shape binder was updated. Isn't that cool? So I can make changes to my original sweep, and the imported shape binder still updates just like that. Now, my tree is a little bit messy right now because I've got, this body, and then this thing doesn't belong to the body. So what I like to do, of course, is add a group. So I click on this folder looking icon right here and hit F2, and I can say that this is the helical sweep. I can take my sweep and drop it right into that group. When I go into my body, I can say, okay, my binder right there, I'll hit F2. I can say C helical sweep. And so now I just have one body that I worry about. Anytime I want to edit something, I can see, oh yeah, I just got to go to that group called helical sweep, and that's where I can make my changes to my body. So it keeps my tree very, very organized, and I can continue on adding features as before with part design, because I love that workflow. It works like any modern CAD system. So I guess I covered multiple things, but that is how we can make a sweep that scales as it goes larger. I can also make some additional changes. So one other thing that's worth talking about is When I go to make this sweep, I might just delete this sweep for a second. So I'm also going to hide my part design body. So here I have my sketch, my other sketch, and they're all completely connected to my helical path. This is very logical when you're working in SolidWorks, Onshape, Libre, whatever. You need to have your stuff right on your path, but in FreeCAD it can be a little bit different. I'm going to create a sketch. Let's go on my XZ plane, I think it was. Yeah, that was pretty good. And then I'm going to add another circle out here, right? And this is valid. So let me take a look here. That sketch came in part design. I'm going to get rid of that sketch. We got to go to part, don't we? So we're going to go to part, create a sketch, XZ plane. Okay. Now I was wondering why that sketch wasn't showing up in my tree for a second. So this is perfectly valid. And what I'm going to do is when I go to generate this sweep feature, we're going to say go from this sketch to this sketch to that next sketch, and then we're going to establish our path to be this helix. Done. Now when I say OK, we can actually continue down this path but still go through our sweep profile that's not connected to our path, which is very strange for a lot of traditional CAD users. We say OK, and there we have it, right? So we can use sweep profiles that are not within our traditional parameters. They don't have to lie on the path. Again, that's a pretty unique feature in all the CAD that I've done, and it's really cool to be able to talk about. So those are some ways that we can do scales along helixes. I also want to point out a channel called Bugman. I'm going to put some links in the description for Bugman as well. Remind me if I forget. Bugman has been around for a long time and covers a lot of topics like this, and is totally worth a mention for that. Bugman does things where you can do a helical surface and then intersect that surface with another surface and create a custom sweep path. So if we wanted to not have a helix, but rather a helical path in the shape of like a star, Bugman has a video for that. So check out the YouTube channel Bugman. He does some great work on concepts like this. Again, putting links in the description below. Give that channel a subscribe and some love, because that channel doesn't get enough attention. It deserves a lot more. So check out Bugman. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this helps when it comes to scaling things on a path, and I'll see you in the next video.